We don't sell resume, we sell outcomes. We understand the business impact of the role. We also understand the market compensation realities. We understand what actually motivates top performer.
Welcome to the Growth Experts podcast. I'm your host, Derek Collin, and today we have a very special guest who goes by Ranjay. He is the CEO and founder of the ARM Group. How are you today?
I'm well. Thank you so much, Derek. Excited to be here on your podcast.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us. So, Ranjay, tell me, how does your role fit into the bigger picture over at thearmgroup.org?
Well, let's first of all, I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Derek.
Yeah, no,
I know we've been exchanging notes and we've been trying to make this happen. I'm the founder and CEO of ARM Group, which is a global recruiting company. We started 5 years back, almost 5 years back, and never had the intention when I started in recruiting. I never had of a dream of building a firm. It started by solving people problem that other companies couldn't fill. And what started as a one-member company, happy to say that we are a little more than 20 plus people. We started here in South Carolina, and now we hire across 37 plus countries, across roles. So whether you are hiring a forklift or a driver, or you're hiring an executive or C-level position from Sydney to San Francisco, from Boston to Bangalore, we got you covered.
Awesome. So what does a typical day look like for you, RJ?
So typical day, or rather typical night, because I love working and I will work around the clock. So when the US goes to bed, the Indian team gets up. When the Indian team goes to bed, Japan team gets up. So it's around the clock. So at this point in time, my role, and fortunately, after 5 years, I've been in a position where I can think more strategic, have lot of think about direction of strategic, how we can expand, what are the areas that we can, problems that we can solve, rather than getting into the nitty-gritties of each and every hire. Because for that, we have qualified people, qualified colleagues of ours. But typical day is, try and understand what's going on in different markets, right? What are the areas where we need some support? What are the challenges? So obviously start with firefighting, right? And we try and set up a priority, what needs to be tackled at the first. And then obviously client interfacing role, going out for networking, because again, we firm believer of your network is your net worth. So we don't want to lose out on, meeting new people, trying to understand the latest trend in the industry. The best part is my 2 days do not look alike. It's every day is different. And that's something that really excites me, that really pushes me to come next day and explore what's there in store.
Awesome. What major shifts are you currently seeing in your industry right now?
Oh, yeah, sure. The one thing that people keep talking about, is how AI is going to replace human being in the near future. And every nook and corner you go, there's not even a single conversation that doesn't happen without the word AI being thrown in. And we are not away from that as well. We are not, keeping a blind eye to that. We do utilize AI in our sourcing activity, but yeah, I really feel that utilizing AI in the right manner is going to be the differentiator in the near future, whether you use it while sourcing or whether you're using it AI as a tool for resume making or for interview process. So those are the latest trend that I would say that we are looking. We're also looking at some unique positions that you and I had never heard 5 years back, that, oh, somebody can hire for this role as well, like the total gig economy or influencers. Have you ever heard that a company is actually looking to hire influencers as a full-time on their payroll? So that's a new thing for us, and we are evolving as the entire recruitment industry.
Yeah, there's a whole new ecosystem and influencer economy that's been rapidly growing for the last 2 decades. It's definitely a large candidate pool. So that's interesting. I never heard an executive or a founder like yourself discuss something like that. It's quite interesting. So you have clients that are looking for influencers.
There are a few. We got some requests. Yeah, can you identify that? Can you identify that? So we are working with without revealing the name, we are working with a major FMCG organization, and they have targeted few influencers who will just be promoting their product. Now, 3-4 years back, if you would have told me something like this exists, I would be like, seriously? But then 20 years back, nobody believed that a car will be driving itself. So if that can happen, anything can happen. And the biggest challenge will be, my kids, I've got two boys, 6 and 3. By the time they are working age, the job that they will be working on, those jobs are not even there at this point in time. So we need to prepare them. We need to, the future generation need to be at least be prepared for something that's not even there. That's the challenge at this point in time, if you ask. And with the pace that AI is moving, I think in the next few years, you will see a drastic change in the way recruitment is handled. I mean, I get calls that there's an AI chatbot which will make 1,800 calls in less than a minute to all the prospective customers. Now,
Yeah.
all this sounds really good, very fancy, but I'm still a little old school because AI is a tool. It helps you elevate your skills. It cannot replace you. Whether it is sales, recruiting, maintenance, production, use it as a tool. And that's something that I'm a big advocate of. I use AI, but it just to make me more productive.
That's good. Yeah, it's supposed to enhance your position. So, how has this trend or AI impacted your business or growth strategy?
It has definitely helped us, right? The amount of research that we can do using AI, right? It gives you a head start. It gives you a head start. You don't have to start anything from scratch. If I need to sitting here in South Carolina, if I need to understand the rules and regulations and the ways of operating a business in Brazil, it really helps me, right? It helps me so it gives me a head start and not go. I mean, we still live in the Google era where Google can give you a lot of information, but there's a lot of noise. And one has to understand that AI, to a large extent, depends on what kind of prompt you give, right? It's going to reflect only on prompts that you give. So you got to be very careful what are the input, because based on that, you get the output. How has it impacted our business? We use AI for sourcing. Now, for example, LinkedIn, right, has more than 600, 700 million profiles there. Scanning through them individually is so difficult, right? It's literally impossible. But using AI as a tool, as a sourcing, you can definitely scan people, not just on LinkedIn, but there are certain great candidates who are hiding somewhere in GitHub or Stack, and AI can scan their public profile and share it with you. So yes, it definitely helps us. We also compare a job description and a potential candidate, and we ask AI that, how about you give us a matching score? What percentage would you think that this person is fitting to this job description? Now, we don't take that as as like a law or something written in stone. We use that as a reference point, and then we use our own AI that has been planted us naturally by God, and use it and use those combination to get the best result and deliver it to our customers.
Right. Yeah. That's good. So what's working well for you right now, and what's been frustrating?
What's been working well for us is acceptance, right? Acceptance by the customers. Because see, the way that I look at it is we just started. We are not reinventing the wheel here, right? There's so many players in the market who are already doing what we are doing. The aim is to be global and hire at a global scale, but at the same time, we are small enough to handle the local business as well. So the acceptance has been great by all our prospect customers. And there's a reason why they believe, and the repeat business that we keep getting is because of the quality of the work that we do. Instead of, talking and making tall claims, we rather let our work do the talking. So that has been that's been working out really, really well with all the organizations that we work with. We've been upfront and telling them that, listen, we are relatively new kid on the block, but we do understand our business, right? Individually, all our team members come with 15, 20, 25 years experience in recruitment. So we understand the challenges. We are probably one of those recruitment companies who don't go after low-hanging fruits. Meaning, there are some easy positions, there are some difficult positions. There's so many players out there ready to work on those easy positions. But what we say that, give us a difficult position that nobody is working. And if we can close that, you would know the kind of quality that we bring to the table. What's frustrating would be, number one, ghosting of the candidate. And Derek, I was talking to you just before this podcast.
Yeah.
One would think that, ghosting is something which is probably at a bottom of the pyramid, entry level role, but no, it's across. People accept the offer, do not show up. People accept the invitation, do not show up for the interview. I think somewhere people don't like to have difficult conversation. it's perfectly fine. Say, you know what, this job is not for me, or I don't want to apply for this job, or I don't want this offer. Pick up the phone and talk. But ghosting, it's something which really impacts not just me, but my customers, and it takes away the opportunity that somebody else could have, got in the first place. So it's just so it kind of takes you back 2 months in the entire hiring process, and so I wish we had a magical wand, and we could help each other. So that's definitely, it's one of the biggest challenge, if you ask me, at this point in time.
Yeah, it is, because it's a numbers game. You got to fill the pipeline, and you got to have lookalike candidates, and you got to submit multiple to the same role, and make sure that, you rotate them in for interviews, and then, the client's going to pick the best one or the top three. And then if they all ghost, God forbid, that sucks. But, maybe one or two or three ghosts, you still got, 2 or 3 left to submit. And, hopefully it pans out. But ghosting is an issue in the industry. So, yeah, we discussed that prior. So what metrics focused on improving?
So what metrics am I looking at it? The first metrics that we are looking at, it's something called EQ. When we're talking to a candidate, right? And that goes
Emotional quotient.
further deep, and that's right. We look at the reason, the motivational level. When it comes to ghosting, how we are trying to tackle it at our end is, what is the main motivation why they're looking out for a job change in the first place, right? Is it just money? Then that's not a strong enough case for us. And why I'm saying this is because of the data that we've seen over the past 5 years. Money is still an important motivator, but it's not the motivator. You know what I mean? There are other factors as well. So we try and understand that. But in order to do that, our recruiters need to show their human side, because we try to understand and pick up signals from the non-verbal communication. Easier said than done, right? It's not easy because technically the candidates are sound. But then, Derek, between you and I, we all know we are dealing with the most complex organism in this world, which is human mind, and human mind has its own way of thinking. So how do you sense those signals which they don't say? How do you read those pauses? So that's very critical for us. That's one metric that we look at it. We look at the sense of urgency by a candidate, right? That talks volume about how badly do they need this job, right? So we try and do that, and at the same time, we have been advocating our customers that the good candidate will not be there in the market for 3 weeks. I mean, I know you will have your own processes and systems and multiple interview rounds, but if you like somebody, it's not law of averages that, okay, I give you the first candidate, you like them, but you still want somebody else so that you can compare it. You like the candidate, move ahead. Go ahead, make that decision.
Yeah.
Why do you need a comparison to make this guy look even better or worse? You like this candidate, he fits your 85% of your criteria, make that decision. So we've been advocating our customer. Some of them, they have learned it the hard way. Some of them are still in the denial mode, but we will get.
Yeah. So are you using any like AI or tools like scoring cards or assessment tests? Are you scoring your candidates to from a psychological perspective in terms of the behavioral attributes? How are you actually measuring whether they're a good fit or not, or if they're going to back out, or if it's a money issue, etc.?
So glad you asked that question. See, it's very difficult to gauge somebody's motivational level, right? Whether they will back up at the end or whether it is something else. Again, I'm a big fan of personality test, be it MBTI or there are so many, this profiling and everything. It gives you an indication of somebody's future behavior based on what they have done in the past, right? What if you find a candidate who's so expert in faking those tests? Well, you have to deal with those things as well. But yeah, I mean, there are expert candidates who have taken so many tests that they know, what would be the likable answer.
Oh,
Right
gotcha.
answers. But
Actually, one of them, I was very aggressive in sales. So I would always make sure that I was very aggressive when I took the assessment test. And they were like, oh, we got to have this guy because he's aggressive. And I was.
Yeah.
I wasn't manipulating, but I am aggressive when it comes to sales.
I started my career with Randstad selling psychometric profiling tests. And If you ask me, I can fake that test really easy, right? You tell me what personality you want to see, and I can show you based on that. I can answer my questions in that way so that it pleases you. But having said that, I'm not demeaning the efficacy of those tests.
Yeah.
Those tests are really good. It should not be a guide to interview process. It should be an aid to your interview process. Just like AI, don't believe what you see everything. It's a tool that increases your productivity and make you more efficient. Similarly, a personality profiling test will help you determine his or her non-behavioral competencies that you and I may not be able to get out in those 30-40 minutes of interview. And the decision making, it has to be an informed decision based on what you see, body language, the non-verbal cues, the technical know-how, and obviously you have your MBTI and the test profiling report, merge it together and then make an informed decision.
Yeah. Well, the AI is changing the game. I've spoken with founders and seen AI scores on candidates that have been run based on their resume and the input that the candidate puts in. And it's no longer like an assessment test where you click the little bubbles and it's like psychological. It breaks down everything, like their zodiac sign, like everything that they're more likely to, is this candidate going to run away in 6 months? It'll tell you. It's really detailed now. It even scares the candidate.
Yeah.
It makes the candidate like, wait, I better stick to the job. It's AI is changing the game, but yeah. Well,
Let's give you an example. Like, not just for our customers direct, but for internal hire as well. Like, we hire for attitude over pedigree, right? We hire for curiosity over comfort. Very simple. We are honest upfront. And it's not easy. It's not corporate at all. We reward accountability, right? And our retention rate within the on group itself, for a young organization, it's pretty high, and it comes from autonomy. It comes from giving them clear growth paths. It comes from feeling heard, right? So, and people stay when they feel trusted and challenged, not just micromanaged. So that's our philosophy of building a strong team here. And we want to replicate the same thing for our customers.
that's good. Yeah. So where do you want the ARM group to be 6-12 months from now, 5 years down the road? Where do you see the company?
Where do we want to see ourselves? We want to be a trusted partner, and being treated as a partner, not just vendor, right? With our client organization, we really want to come across as somebody who's providing solution and not just adding one more problem, right? We don't sell resumes. We try and sell outcomes. We reward outcomes. And that's what I was saying. Ghosting it's hurting us because obviously we have a backup candidate ready, but it hurts our customer. And that's the outcome that we want to talk about. We like to be an organization where we are not hesitating in having hard conversation. We are growing globally. Right now, we are hiring 37 plus countries. There are 193 countries in the world. There are so many countries that we will go. And that is only possible if we continue the work that we've been doing in the last, few years. We like to be lean with a strong team and making a core team where money is important, but at the same time, we should not forget the core of entire human resource system is human. Try to put the human at the center of what we do, right? Personally, I'm a big believer. I, employee first, customer second, because again, if I take care of my internal employees, my customers would be taken care of by that. So where I want to see as the most trusted partner, and that if a customer has a problem, say in Nigeria or in Rio or in Sao Paulo or in Netherlands, they pick up the phone and our number is in their speed dial. Because we could run the right and give us the difficult roles. Don't judge us by giving your easy position. Try us out with your difficult roles, because that's challenging, and that's motivating for us as well.
Yeah. So do you see the business, hitting a certain growth X amount this year, going into 2027, optimizing around ghosting candidates, bringing in more clients? Are you expanding the team? Can we talk about that?
Absolutely. So we just I was on a call with my bookkeeper and the CPA. We just ended the last year books of accounts, and whatever the numbers, without getting into specific, whatever the numbers that we had targeted, end of 2024, we crushed that target, global income, and we could have been easily 40% more than the number that we had targeted had it not been of ghosting. So you can imagine we lost potential 40% of our overall revenue. Even though we achieved our numbers, it would have been 140%, right? So I'm not saying it's gonna go away, but using the metrics, the metrics that we spoke about, can we reduce that 40% ghosting to 20% this year? That's number one. We are hiring in key markets, in key areas. So people, if you guys are listening, we are hiring sales, recruiters, again, curiosity over comfort. So attitude over pedigree. So if you have the right attitude, hungry, motivated, reach out to us. So different markets, we want to expand, we want to hire, and we want to get into different industries as well, right? Currently, we've been focusing on IT, manufacturing, pharmaceutical, retail, but there are so many industries that we really want to get into. It's not that we have not done enough. We've done few businesses there, we've closed few roles, but we like to be even more, say, in a banking or captives or, more high-end technology. So we really want to get into that as well. So for that, we have hired people who understand that. So the disclaimer, Derek, I don't know everything, right? So, but I know one thing, that I need to hire smart people. We need smart people doing the smart thing, who understand their industry, who understand their customer, who can talk the same language as their candidate and build that trust. And honestly, not a firm believer of making plans for 5 years down the line. I would rather have small tasks. What are those things that we want to achieve this week? And let's crush those targets. And so we don't want to look, even though, if I turn my camera, you'll see I'm a visual guy. I have written what I want next year and this and that.
Yeah,
But
patience.
well, affirmation, big fan of manifestation, but let's have weekly goals. Because if you look at the larger picture and keep pressurizing yourself, it's not going to work out. Rather have small goals, daily goals, weekly goals, and crush those goals. And before you realize, you're hitting the larger picture.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome. So your goal is to, crush even more goals, do the best you can to get rid of the ghosts, those ghosted candidates, and expand the business, generate more income this year. It's good. Awesome. So
And the idea is to create value. The idea is to create value. The idea is to hire more people. Nothing gives me more high. Obviously, money makes everybody happy. You, me, and your listener. But what gives you a high is that when a candidate calls you and say that, hey, you know what? When you guys found us a job, you just didn't help us, you helped the entire family. And nothing beats that high. We're fortunate enough to hire more than 500 plus people in the last 4.5, 5 years of our existence. We just want to make sure that we continue doing that without thinking too much that I want to achieve that and want to achieve that. Let's just take what we can do at this moment, the best that we can do, and let's do that.
Yeah, so it's beyond transactional. It's a relationship, and making sure that you can work with them as a growth partner to provide them, the solutions that they need for the business. So it's a good thing, and then in turn, the families.
Yeah, you can't run a company just chasing money and thinking I want to, be a unicorn, or I want to, have my valuation. Those things are important. Yeah, that pays the bill, and I know that. The back of the mind, I'm always keeping an eye on that. But that doesn't happen automatically. There are so many. It's a subject of many small things. So let's take control of the controllables. Why to worry about that's beyond my control? I would rather, can I make X number of calls? Can I reach out to my candidates? Can I present them the best opportunity? Can I make sure that my candidate is well represented in front of my candidates? Can I represent my candidate well? Can I find the best candidate for this role? Let's take care of those things, right? Can I provide the value to my customer? And then the rest of the things will take care of itself.
Yeah. So, I mean, it seems like you have your system and processes in place in terms of, moving forward here in 2026. We're in the first quarter already. So I think you're going to absolutely crush it, RJ. Thank you so much for joining the Growth Experts podcast. But before we go, I want to hear one last thing from you. I got one more question. So if someone was to hire you, if there was a person or an organization or a client that wanted to hire you for your services, what's the value, and why would they want to hire you?
Very simple. We don't sell resume, we sell outcomes. We understand the business impact of the role. We also understand the market compensation realities. We understand what actually motivates top performer. And if there's one line that I can tell you is that we are global reach with local execution. So big enough to scale, small enough to care. Yeah, that has a nice ring to that. I just made it big enough to scale, small enough to care. Uh, and I have a lot of customers who are in India. They want to hire in India. The same customer wants to hire here in US. The same customer wants to hire in Brazil. Why? They have many options.
Yeah.
They are with me because they see the value that we bring to the table. And yeah, that would be my the elevator pitch for you, sir.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Ranjay. I really appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us on the Growth Experts podcast. If you guys want to check out Ranjay's information or his website, it is located in the description below. This is the Growth Experts podcast. RJ, would you like to let people know where they can find you?
Yeah, I'm very active on social media. You can hit me on LinkedIn. You can find our page on Instagram. We have some really cool, big fan of memes. So you'll find how recruitment and meme culture can blend together. So yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm very active there.
Awesome. And his website is thearmgroup.org. Thanks for joining us, RJ.
Thank you, Derek. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.